Hey guys, it's Kate and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a first impressions and review on the new Rimmel BB cream. It's the 9-in-1 BB cream foundation. I just saw this. There was like a display of the new Rimmel products on a, display at Walgreens, and I'm a sucker for foundation, and they were buy one get one 50% off, so I grabbed this and one of their new eyeshadow palettes, which I have not really tested yet, but I'll get back to you on that one as well. But anyways, today's video is just going to be a review on this, so let's just get started. So I'm going to start with the claims of this foundation because it says BB cream foundation online, so, we're just going to go through some of the claims. I'm just on Ulta's website. It says, Rimmel's BB cream foundation is a skin perfecting super makeup developed specifically for women who won't wear foundation. Creates the perfect 9-part regimen in one easy step. So I guess you can skip your 9-part regimen if you have one. I don't know. I don't have a 9-step regimen. But, here we go. So it claims that the 9-in-1 Skin Perfecting Super Makeup primes, moisturizes, minimizes pores, conceals, covers, smooths, mattifies, brightens, and helps protect. And the benefits featuring powder technology and 24-hour moisturization complex that allows for Rimmel's longest lasting BB yet, next generation BB cream with a built-in water gel technology that completely fuses with the skin, lightweight, ultra comfortable formula, instantly gives a flawless 100% natural finish, and it has SPF 15. So that is kind of like a crazy amount of claims for one product, especially like hydrating and mattifying and all of that. So I am going to test it out today to see if it lives up to those claims and, if I like it or not or whatever. I do have pretty oily skin, especially in my T-zone, so it should be an interesting one. If you want to see my thoughts on this foundation, you're in the right place. Just keep on watching. Since this claims that it primes, I'm just going to go ahead and apply it. I'll do half my face with, I guess, my fingers, and then half with a brush, and I might try like a beauty blender on my forehead so we can see how it applies with everything. I don't really know how much you need. It's very liquidy, so I'm just going to start with like that much. See how liquidy that is? That's crazy. Okay, so I'm going to apply like to my face first maybe, and then blend with my fingers just to see how that works. Okay, it definitely has like a strong scent, which is not my favorite thing. I'm not really sure like what that did. It did even it out a tiny bit, I guess, like you would expect from a BB cream, but there's not much going on in terms of coverage. So I'm going to try the brush on the other side just because I feel like this definitely is not going to have much coverage with a beauty blender, so I'll use it on my forehead. And I'm just going to apply this the same way, and I'm using a BS Small round face brush, so right away there is a lot more coverage on this side. You can definitely still see things peeking through, but that's kind of what I expect with a BB cream, so that does not bother me. It's definitely pretty dewy. In terms of finish, it could also be the light is very bright, but there's definitely a lot of dewiness going on, which it does say that there is all day hydration, but then it also says that it's mattifying, so we'll see which one it ends up being, because I don't know. And I'll just try a beauty blender on my forehead to see if we can get any coverage from that. The Beauty Blender does do a nice job, better than fingers, not as good as the brush though. And in terms of color, it's a little orange for me, but I'll just blend some down my neck. I am going to take some more of this just because I want more coverage today, just so we can actually see like we can layer it up, you never know. I'm just gonna go and use the brush for the rest of my face just because that gave me the best coverage, so. Okay, so it does seem to be layering and adding a bit of coverage, which is good. And I like that it is super, super thin because, like, I'm layering it up, but there's no, like, caking happening, which is awesome. That's definitely a thing I always look for in products because I want to be able to layer them without looking cakey. Because sometimes I prefer to just layer up lower coverage products and getting a higher coverage that way rather than going ahead and throwing on full coverage. You know, like sometimes I like to do that, but for an everyday basis, I kind of like having the flexibility of a light to medium coverage product that I can build up. Okay, but this is definitely like super dewy, like crazy dewy. I'm a little worried because I do have oily skin. Alright, so that is what it looks like with the two layers. I think that it looks pretty good in terms of like my skin and looking healthy and just naturally covered. I don't see any caking or anything in the usual places. It's definitely super tacky though, so I would definitely say set with a powder, which I'm going to do. I'm just going to throw on like a little bit of makeup, some concealer, and then I will be back. Alright, so I am done with the rest of my makeup. I just kept it really simple today because we just want to focus on the foundation, right? So all I did was spot conceal and highlight a little bit with the Maybelline Dream Illuminator Corrector. This is new in there, you know, that line that just came out. I have a ton of products from that line that I will be doing a video on, but I did use that today. And I also used the Instant Age Rewind Concealer, also from Maybelline, under my eyes as usual. And I did set quite a bit. I used quite a bit of the RCMA No Color Powder. It's just my favorite powder. I need to set it, otherwise I could just tell it was going to melt off. But it definitely still looks really glowy, even with the powder on top. And I didn't add highlight or anything, just because I felt like this was super glowy and wanted to keep, kind of see how that goes. But I did set my entire face using this, and now it definitely feels set, but still very, very soft. So into that. And I want to mention this really quick just because I'm obsessed with it, but this is my favorite lip combination that I just discovered. It's the NYX Slide On, Glide On, Stay On, Indefinitely a Turn On Waterproof Extreme Color Lip Liner. That is a name, but it's in the color Intimidate, and I am obsessed with this color. It's like this beautiful light brown. And on top of it, I have the NARS Audacious Lipstick, which is like a terracotta kind of color in Jane. And it has just become my favorite lip color ever, so just thought I would mention those. So anyway, I am going to go ahead and keep this makeup on all day. I'll check back with you guys so we can see how it holds up throughout the day and how many of those claims it actually, you know, lives up to. It is 1:23 p.m. currently, so I will be back in a few hours to hopefully tell you it's going great, but you know, we'll see. So I will see. Hey guys, I'm back for my first check-in. It is now 3:39 p.m. and so it's been a couple of hours since I applied the BB cream. So far, I'm really liking it. What I noticed, hopefully you can see on camera, but one of the claims on here is that it masks pores and smooths out pores. And when I was looking in the mirror, I did notice that my pores are very smoothed over, like especially for not using any type of primer, and for the fact that this doesn't feel silicone-y or slippery at all. It really does smooth over the pores. I also have noticed that as it finally kind of completely set, it is much more of like a powdery matte finish than it initially was, but it does still have a lot of glow to it. The only place where it's starting to get oily is my nose, which is pretty typical of any kind of foundation. I mean, it is like pretty oily for 2 hours though, but again, I don't have on a primer, which I normally do. But other than my nose, I feel like everywhere else it looks very nice. Nothing has worn off yet. All of my makeup still looks exactly the same. It pretty much looks exactly the same as when I first applied it, except just maybe a little bit more kind of a powder finish rather than the super dewy finish that it had at the beginning. So far, I would say that the claim it made earlier about like fusing with your skin seems like a really good one, actually, just because it really does feel like there's like nothing on my face, and like it doesn't look like there's a layer of anything. It just seriously looks like perfect flawless skin. So I am super impressed with this so far. I probably will end up blotting my nose just because that is a thing that I have to do all the time. So yeah, so far it's going pretty well, and I will see you in my next check-in. Alright guys, it is now 6:59 p.m. so it has been what, like 6 hours, probably 5.5, 6 hours that I have had this on, and so far I am actually just super impressed with it. I was not expecting it to hold up like it did, especially because it like claimed hydration and everything, but like it's held up pretty well. Looking in the mirror, it's kind of like getting a little weird by my nose, and that's probably because it's like super oily, but it's actually not that bad compared to like some other foundations and BB creams that I've used, but like everything is holding up really well, like my bronzer and blush and all of that still looks really nice, and I think it just looks good. Like it looks glowy, not too flat or matte or anything, so I'm pretty impressed with this. I'm gonna probably say this is my last check-in for the night just because I am done with the day. So I don't know, I'm probably gonna take it off. I think 5-6 hours is still a pretty decent amount of time to wear a foundation, just because with my oily skin breaking up, like it would normally be breaking up around now anyway if it wasn't going to last, so I don't see how this would have a problem lasting to like 8 hours, which is a pretty typical amount of time to be wearing makeup. But I would say if you have oily skin, this is a good option. I used no primer, and it really did smooth out pores like it said it would. It didn't mattify, really. It did for a little bit. It kind of dried matte, but I didn't notice that. It did conceal and cover for an even skin tone. I did do a little bit of spot concealing on some places that I had more redness, but I didn't really need a ton of concealer or anything. And yeah, it definitely did last really well throughout the day, so I am pretty impressed with this BB cream overall. The only downsides to it, I would say, are the shades. There were only 3 in the display that I saw, and this is almost too dark for me, and I'm like a pretty, like, not super pale person, so if you're super pale, I don't think this would work for you. And also, there's like not really any deeper shades, so that is definitely a bummer. But if you are one of the 3 shades that exist, then I guess this is a really good product. But in terms of a BB cream product that actually does do what it says and kind of takes out extra steps like the priming step and all of that, I think this is a really good product. I really like it. It made my face look pretty good, so I would give this probably like a 4 out of 5 stars, mostly for the shade situation, because that ain't cool. But yeah, that is about all I have to say about this. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did and you found it helpful, consider liking the video and subscribing to my channel. It would really mean a lot. And that is all I have to say, so I guess I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.